Hello neighbors, it's Brad here at eTrailer. Today we're taking a look at installing the Curt 4-pole trailer wiring harness for a 2023 Honda Passport. Adding 4-pole trailer wiring harness to a vehicle with a hitch is a great option because even if you don't plan on pulling any trailers, you have the ability to hook up to one. So if you ever have to rent one or just need to move one, you're going to have your light sequence to keep you safe and legal. And this is going to tie into your factory tow package plug. It's super easy to get installed, and it's going to allow you to have running lights, turn signals, and brake lights. And that way the people behind you know what you're doing when you have your accessories or that trailer hooked up. Now this is really nice because it's module protected, meaning if you have faulty trailer wiring, it's not going to damage anything on your vehicle. And in fact, there's 2 fuses that are included with the kit that are going to just add as a little bit more protection. And overall, this is a super easy installation. Normally you have to pull off plastic panels, but I found a way to make it a little bit easier. And it also, the great part is Honda's done a great job of putting a grommet roughly where we're going to be mounting this up. So if you want this to live inside the vehicle, you can absolutely do that. But if you wanted to mount it down here by your hitch, you can also do that very easily. Speaking of installation, I'm going to show you how to do that now. And you'll have this knocked out within about 15 minutes or so. So follow along so we can get your trailer wiring installed. Now, to do this install, the way that the instructions will tell you to do it, you're going to be pulling off the threshold and pulling back this plastic. But I think I've found a quicker way to get this accomplished and still have the same results without having to do that. So we're going to go ahead, we'll raise back this cargo area, and this center section comes out with just a simple twist. And there's 2 plastic knobs that you'll find here by the threshold. You'll just turn these quarter turn, and this should allow this portion to come out. Now it may be attached to this part up here, but the main thing is we just need to lift this and kind of get it out of the way. So if you need to, you can set this up, and then we can lift this up and out of the way. And our plug lives right about this area, so this cubby here, if you kind of push in on the sides, it'll kind of get these tabs to kind of poke through. This is kind of where it's latched on, and there's one on the back side as well as the side. But once you get that popped out, it's going to open this up nice and easy for us. And I'm just going to kind of reach right here, and there's going to be a plug. Now it's taped onto some of the factory wire looms, so you kind of reach up there and just kind of lightly pull on the wire. Don't go too hard. If you can, you can snip that tape that attaches to it, but that's the plug that we're going to be plugging our wiring harness into. So I'll get this plugged in, and with that snapped in, we'll just follow our wire loom, and that's going to bring us to this white wire, which is our ground. Now there's a few different options. There's a bolt that's right here. There's also some that are attaching this module, so whatever one's easiest to get to. If you want to, you can also run the self-tapping screw that's included in the kit and just mount that up to the metal here. But since we have metal here, I'm going to go ahead, looks like a 10 millimeter, I'll go ahead, take that out, put this in place, and then we'll tighten it back down. Just make sure that ring terminal is able to sit nice and flat, and go ahead and tighten that down. Now, along the wire loom, right by our plug, now that we have this hooked up to our ground, we can open up our fuse holder, and there's going to be a 10 amp fuse that's included in the kit. It's kind of tricky to open here, but we'll go ahead, we can put our fuse in place. Cap that back up, and at this point you need to determine whether or not you want this to live inside the vehicle, or there's actually a grommet that's tucked right kind of back here. You'll see a rubber plug. You can pry that out and your 4-pole can run down. You can attach that to your hitch. It does come with a dust cap too, and a lot of times people put these on their safety chain loops, which is a great way to do that. And if you do plan on running this, make sure you're just avoiding any exhaust. And also zip tie it up along the hitch to make sure that it's nice and secure. But having wiring live inside your vehicle, I actually personally recommend, unless you tow often because whenever you need it, you can just simply drape this over your weather stripping here, close the hatch, and it's going to work just the same. And that's going to allow you to also store it inside, which is going to keep it a little bit cleaner. So as far as running it, we're going to keep it inside. We do need to mount up our module, which there's double-sided tape. And really this flat surface right there is going to make for a good spot for us to stick this on there. Now I've actually gone ahead and zip tied up all our excess wires. I have our 4-pole wire kind of routing towards the center where we're going to store this later. And then I zip tied it up to the factory wire loom, and that way it's going to stay in place and there's still room for our cubby to drop in, so it's nice and hidden there. Now we are going to head up to the engine bay with our fuse that we need to put in the engine fuse panel. So in the engine bay on the driver's side, there's this panel. You'll just pry on all 3 of these, just kind of push on those tabs, and this will come out pretty easily. And it's located right here in this open spot. It should say TRL main, which is trailer main. So we can take our included fuse, put this in place, cap this back up, and then we just need to test to make sure our wires work. So we're going to go ahead and test our wiring with the 4-pole tester. We have these available at eTrailer. These are really nice because it keeps it specific to the vehicle. The other option would be hooking it up to your trailer before you hit the road and running through the light sequence and checking those lights to make sure that they work. So I'll go ahead and hop in the vehicle and I'll run through the lights and make sure they're working. So we'll start with our running lights. Next, our left turn signal, our right turn signal, and then finally our brakes. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put this underbody or this cargo tray back in place, and I'm going to kind of get our wires situated to where we can store it in the compartment, and that way we'll have it ready to go whenever we're ready to tow. And you can kind of store this wherever you want, but again, it's nice that it's coiled up, and whenever you don't need it, you can simply close this up. It's out of sight, out of mind, but it's also very easy when you are ready to hook up to your trailer to just drape this over, close the hatch, and you're going to have more than plenty of slack to be able to hook up to your trailer, and then that's as simple as that. And that was a look and installation of the Curt 4-pole trailer wiring harness on a 2023 Honda Passport.